Welcome to the Effin Alchemy Podcast, a safe space for each other and you, our fellow alchemists, created through authentic vulnerability, respect, honesty, and trust. By working through our day-to-day experiences together and being transparent and relatable, we invite you to take comfort in where you currently are in your journey, knowing you are exactly where you're meant to be, you are seen, and you are never alone. Hi, I'm Cate, claircognizant woo goddess of Violet Feather Alchemy, bringing you downloads from the spiritual world.
And I'm Amy, audacious empowerment queen of Effin Creative, daring you to unleash your creatrix. This is the Effin Alchemy Podcast,
where vulnerable synergy begets effin magic.
Episode 9. Girl, put your compassion on.
On this episode, we're going to discuss how self-compassion can help us through grief. Let's make some magic.
Hey there, alchemists. On our last episode, it was pretty potent for me in being able to share my story and talk about the deep, dark depths of hell for me, basically. And I just wanted to start today's episode by taking a moment to express my gratitude to Cate for holding the space for that, to be able to come through, and for this container and this channel of being able to express that. So thank you.
Of course.
For holding that with gentle hands and creating the space and witnessing that release. And I think today what I want to discuss with you is, once you experience something like that and you let it out, you know, the underlying feelings that come along with that, of one, feeling extremely vulnerable and very exposed, kind of, you know, again, ripping off the clothes, but also how to hold myself through that and treating myself with compassion and love and forgiveness, and not only the experience itself, but and also like acknowledging the courage to share that and being gentle with myself through that expression.
Yeah. Definitely all of those things are valid. And I think you hit the nail right on the head. Like, the self-compassion piece of that is really important, because I think a common experience when we share something like that, or even on a much lesser level, like even if we like overshared at a party, or, you know, maybe we had a little bit too much to drink and, you know, information kind of got out, like whatever.
I had nothing to drink.
You had nothing to drink.
And that came flying out.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's why I said on a much lighter, lesser scale.
Teasing.
But no matter what it is, whenever you feel exposed or raw like that, practicing self-compassion is really, really important, because we are the ones beating ourselves up more than anybody at the party, more than any other person who may have experienced the situation with you, or any other witness that you may or may not have been aware of. And us beating ourselves up when we're already in a state of being raw is much more potent, because you're so much more susceptible to that negative energy that you are imposing on yourself. So it's, how do we hold ourselves with kid gloves in a situation like that? How do we be gentle with ourselves? How do we provide ourselves the grace and the comfort of love and support that we would provide for anybody else. And that can sometimes be really, really challenging to do.
Yeah. For me, the first thing that always comes to mind with like self-compassion and just even, self-care is rest. Especially reliving like really intense emotions and traumas and things like that. Like it's so energetically charged that it leaves me feeling super drained afterwards. And to be gentle with myself means just like taking some rest. Not necessarily even just sleeping, but maybe just slowing down, sitting down,
Yeah.
putting off things that aren't super important that can wait, and some of the mundane things, but even kind of shutting off work or things like that. Like just taking the time for myself to almost be in a void, but like a nice void, like a pleasant void, not like a deep dark void, but just kind of getting to a place of neutrality. And that allows me just to kind of observe more simple things. And then that starts to refill my cup again. So even like I love to ride my bike and I love to take a walk even or whatever, but sometimes when I'm doing those types of like physical activity, like it's to process like a lot. So I come at it with like a very charged point of view that I'm going to go ride my bike and ride like 10 miles and hit the trails and like maybe run into a tree or I don't know, whatever. Like I'm just going to go for it. Or even a long time ago when I used to run, I was like, all right, I'm going to go for like a 8-mile run and like uphill both ways. And I would come back and be like, like I feel like I got it out, but in those moments, it's more of like, just take a nice easy ride or take a nice slow walk and like look at the trees, look at a bird, look at a squirrel, see a leaf falling on the ground. What does the sound of acorns crunching my shoes sound like? The panting of my dog, like the jingle of his collar on the leash, like just little tiny things that I've gone through this really intense portal, basically. I've come out the other side and it's all kind of like still and quiet. If I allow it to be. If I go right back and jump into life and I'm like, okay, let's do all the things. Let's get back on my email and do some work and then, hang out with my kids and be cooking the dinner or try to exercise or like just kind of going back into like operation mode. I'm even like 10 times more depleted. Like I can't even attack those things with any energy because I just need that moment of like stillness to like recoup and re-energize and like grounding comes to mind, like just putting your feet on the earth or like hugging a tree or whatever. Sounds so silly, but like you're pulling energy from source because your battery is completely depleted.
Yeah. And I think you touched on a very important distinction with rest, and that is rest is actually being present. It's not further distraction. So, like when you were talking about how sometimes you used to like ride your bike 10 miles or go for a run, you added the juxtaposition of going for a walk and then actually noticing and actually being present and hearing the jingle of the dog tag or seeing the leaf fall. It's the importance of being present in rest is super important because otherwise, like you pointed out, you're just going to keep burning off more energy that isn't there to burn off. And the only way to stop is to be present in the stop,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And everything feels so much more vibrant. And I think it comes back to gratitude and it comes back to being an observer. And like once all that shit has passed, then I'm able to like come back and be like, oh, there is joy in the fact that the sun is up today. You know what I mean? Like,
because
where
it's a
otherwise
miracle.
I'm like, whatever, like, okay, another day, here we go, But in those moments, like you're able to see things from a much simpler, gentler perspective. And that's a good reminder that, yeah, whatever happened, like, sucked tremendously. Like, it sucked so fucking hard. Or that is happening. Like, yes, it fucking sucks. However, sun's still shining. There's air to be breathed. There's, ground underfoot. You're okay.
Go back to the basics. Appreciate the basics of what is here.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. It's such a powerful practice. It's so simple, and usually the simplest things are the most powerful, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, you touched on in the beginning, but it's almost that facet or that wounded version of yourself, like, it needs the compassion the most. Your true self is like, yeah, sun shining, like, everything's groovy, you're good to go. But that wounded self, part of you, it needs so much, like, love and attention to know that it's okay. And so I think it's important in the aftermath of all of it, it's important to hold that wounded part of yourself with the utmost fucking care, because that's not who you truly are. That's not your true self. And I think the forgiveness part of that comes into play with you forgiving the fact that your wounded self had to kind of take over and wasn't able to be protected, like kind of had to lead the charge and go through the shit show, and came out for a reason to protect your true self. And that may be a super ambiguous concept, but, like, it goes back to, like, the golden Buddha statue, right? Like, underneath, like, you're just kind of this golden being of existence, and for whatever reason, whenever something traumatic happens to you, you kind of build up these walls, you build up these layers of protection in different facets of yourself. So whether that's you needed to get super fucking angry to protect yourself, or you needed to overcompensate to protect yourself, or you needed to go into bitch mode to protect yourself, or you needed to be super fucking depressed to protect yourself, like whatever that aspect of your personality, or I don't even know if it's personality, but like parts of your, fragmented self had to step in and take over. And it got you through that event, like, thinking, okay, your true self's not able to, like, fucking handle this because this is going to be really fucked up, right? Like, let me just, like, hold down the fort while we go through this, and then and then we'll talk later. But, like, I'm going to take over. I'm going to lead the fucking charge, and I'm going to get us through this to protect you. Once it fucking passes, that part of yourself just continues to be in charge, and it doesn't necessarily, like, shut down or stop or, go have a snack and chill out after.
I was just about to say, when are we going to go give that a snack?
It's coming. It's going to get like a fucking like, cookie company 16-inch cookie with double layered, whatever. Happy birthday. Like, yeah, like that part of yourself, it doesn't know when that, like, you've got it again. And so it just wants to keep, like, running the show, but it clearly is not fucking equipped to, like, run your entire life, right? Like, it was meant for that one part in that one section in that one moment, whatever. And then once that passes, like, you need to tell it to kind of go have a seat. Like, go have a seat. I'm back. I got this. Like, it's cool. I'm going to work through it. We're going to figure it out. Because that part of yourself is not equipped to manage your life. And that's when shit starts going sideways even further than the traumatic event that happened. It's like in the aftermath that continues to happen. So you can stay in a state of anger. You can stay in a state of depression. You can stay in a state of worry or anxiety or any of those lower levels of existence, like shame or whatever, because that part of yourself is still trying to run the show.
It's the very hungry toddler that needs a snack that's still trying to drive the adult body.
Yes.
Is basically what's happening there.
Yeah.
And this actually is where intuition can come into a lot of use here with regards to self-compassion. And also, the physical awareness can play into this as well. Because in our attempts to help ourselves sometimes, I think overthink what we need, or we can try to pinpoint too far. Oh, well, what piece of me needs this, or what needs that? But really, if you just take a moment and use your physical intelligence and focus on, hey, where do I feel this in my body? Like, what sensations am I feeling? Am I hungry? Am I tired? Am I feeling super energized? Like, that will intuitively tell you how to best take care of yourself. If you're feeling super hungry, well, go get a bag of Torchies and eat all of the tacos and eat all of the queso. Like, go eat that and have the grace and compassion with yourself to be like, well, maybe this isn't something I would normally feed myself, but my body is craving the comfort of that at this point in time. And allow yourself the grace to allow yourself to take care of yourself how your body is asking for it. Our bodies don't run by logic, they run by nature. And listening to that and being in tune with what is being shown to you. Like, if you feel just exhausted after processing an event, it takes a lot of energy to do that. And if you feel tired afterwards, go lay your ass down. Like, if you don't tend to take naps like I don't, at least go sit down or go lay
I love
down.
Naps. I love me a nap, man.
But still put your body in a calm state where it's not having to be active, right? Allow it to sit, allow it to lay down. And even if you're not going to sleep, at least allow the physical body the rest that it's asking for. So that's where intuition can really come in a good play with this, is just tune in and listen to the physical sensations in your body and listen to what is being shown to you, and then do that.
Yeah, and that goes back, that's physical intelligence, right? Like,
Yes.
what is needing to be released from your body in this moment? TMI or not, totally got my period right after that.
Yeah.
And that came, and I'm like Johnny on the spot, dude. Like, every 28 days, lasts for 4 days, and then we're good. Like, all the time. And this time was at least like 4 days early, I think, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
For me. Like, for me and my body, like, that's crazy.
Your body needed to release that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I noticed that sensation in my sacral was, now it's muddied with like cramps and having my period and my uterus being like a fucking basketball, but like
but you did say to me earlier that you did feel lighter. You
but
did feel better after
felt,
having that release.
Yeah. I do. And that's wild to me too, because like, while there's still, pressure associated with like menstrual cramps and things like that, that blockage is not as present.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's totally like snap your fingers like it's gone, right? But I'd say 90% of that blockage that I was feeling was released.
That's amazing. And sometimes it really goes to show, if you can open up and be vulnerable and share, it may not even necessarily be the thing that's blocking. It's your previous inability to open up and share something that's causing the energetic blockage in your body, which is another interesting thing rabbit hole to go down. But just by you taking that step, you moved so much for yourself. It's truly, it's so amazing, and it was so beautiful, and I'm so happy you had the courage to do that, because you're healing now because of that. And that's why we're here. That's a really beautiful, amazing experience, and that's why we're here.
Yeah. And my period is like, get out.
It's just the backup. It's just providing the extra services to really, like, really push everything out of there.
But like, here we go.
Yeah.
Which I'm grateful for, like, all right, cool, whatever, it's fine. Yeah. So it's been good, and I feel lighter. And this is like a total stupid random thing, but did you notice yesterday that I was wearing all blue?
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Mm-hmm.
What do I normally wear, Cate?
All black.
What are you wearing today?
All black.
What am I wearing? Half blue, half black.
You're black and blue today.
But yesterday, it's like head to toe in blue. So I love shit like that. I don't care if it doesn't mean anything. Like, to me, it means shit. So I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
The synchronicity of things like that, if you just stop and pay attention to it, like, it's pretty cool.
It wasn't intentional either. Like,
no,
at all.
Of course it's not.
You know.
Synchronicity is naturally occurring. Like, I wouldn't expect it to have been intentional.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of fun. I thought about that this morning when I was getting dressed. I was like, I was wearing all blue yesterday, and that's when I just let it rip. Thank you, throat chakra.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I thought that was kind of funny.
Well, my celestite here, of course, that I have sitting next to us, also helps with that. So
yes, it does. And it's
throat chakra.
And it's very big. It's like the size of a fucking softball.
Yeah, it's big.
That's what she said. So, yeah, I can even tell, like, my demeanor is different. Like, I feel lighter. I feel, I don't know, hopeful again. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Things just look like, oh, all right. Here we go. I'm back. Do you know what I mean? Like, It's like, all right, cool. Like, I'm back and I'm calm and I'm collected and, confident and curious and all those things. And I'm not in the, depths of hell.
Yeah.
Which I'll return to, I'm sure. Like, it's not like I'm never going to go back and be like, hello, hi, everyone. But today, again, being present in this moment, I'm not there.
Yeah.
And that feels good.
Yeah. So how can you continue to exercise self-compassion? Because today might be a good day, but what about the next day, like you're saying, or somewhere down the road where you're not doing so great? What can you do to navigate that, where you can treat yourself with compassion and love, and like you would treat your babies, like, give that same love to yourself?
Do you want me to answer that, or are you just making me think about it?
Well, I mean, we are on a podcast. I think you should answer.
I'll be back. I'm just going to go contemplate that real quick.
More asking, like, how can you keep that momentum of self-compassion moving forward, even when things get difficult again? Because right now it's easy because you're feeling light. Not easy. It's easier, I think, because you're feeling light and clear, and like you've been able to release stuff. And so a lot of times that makes it easier to, okay, I'm going to go ahead and be soft and compassionate myself. But like we've previously talked about, the closing of the loop, when the pattern starts getting closer and closer, how do you, when things start to close in on you, how do you exercise self-compassion so they can once again be expansive?
I think it's always a lesson in awareness. So remaining aware, first and foremost. Being tuned in, being cognizant of my energy levels, and going forward, how to maintain it. I mean, I'm doing my best, Cate.
You're doing a really good job.
No, but like maintaining it in the sense of I need to take care of me first.
Yeah, that's
it's
super important.
A huge reminder of that. And the other flip side of that is, I don't know if you know this about me or not, but I tend to overcomplicate things quite a bit.
You don't say.
And
no, so not Amy.
Remaining in that simplistic state is key for me. When I'm reminded of that, and I can just start my day with, a meditation or speaking whatever, words I want my day to be like, and reminding myself of that throughout the day, but I just feel like keeping life simple, like, that's the biggest reminder to me.
Staying present with yourself is the main focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's super powerful. Well, thank you again for sharing your experience and then for your thoughts today on self-compassion and how you've used those tools to be able to support yourself when difficult things come up for you.
No, thank you. But seriously though, like, thank you, because that was a lot, and that was heavy, and that was, some of it's ugly and some of it's scary and not pleasant. And as I said in the beginning, like, I'm grateful for you to be able to hold that and hold the space for it and to let me get it out. And I'm grateful for this platform to be able to put it out there and share that. If it resonates with anyone, or if it helps anyone, or if they relate to it or find comfort in knowing that someone else has gone through something similar or is putting it out there, as uncomfortable as it is. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
So uncomfortable. but I'm still alive. But did you die? No, I didn't die.
No, you survived. So, alchemists, can any of you relate to Amy's journey? If so, please let us know. Join us next time for our season finale, where we talk about showing up authentically and trusting where that can lead us.
Until then, stay effin' magical. Ready to create more magic? For additional episodes and insights, go to effinalchemy.com. EFFINALCHEMY.com.